Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Germany, and we are back here in Hinterland. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a good weekend. Mine was successful, I guess. I got what I needed to get done. Broke out the TrackIR. I've been meaning to grab the TrackIR and get it out of storage and bring it back into the game. Kind of my first step, I think, into getting back into American Truck Sim and Euro Truck Sim. I would find it very hard to play those games without TrackIR, just because I've pretty much why I bought it to begin with. If you're not familiar with TrackIR, it's just a head tracking software. It allows me to do this and look up and look down and look around. Like this number, you can kind of zoom in a bit and zoom out a bit so I can see myself. Ooh, it's kind of creepy. I suppose I can even stand up above the tractor if I want to. It's going to take me a little while to get used to using it. If I'm being honest, yeah, I need to make some adjustments to how I have it set up as well, but I think for the most part we're in pretty good shape. All right. So what we're doing today is finishing up baling. I started, as you can see, I've already been working on getting our straw baled and done, and then once we're done with this, we can collect and we can do our thing. I'll tell you, the weirdest thing for me right now is the reverse is looking in the back. I'm not sure I've got I don't think I have it tweaked quite well enough to where it's feeling supernatural. If I'm not lying, if I'm not lying to you, it feels a little bit odd, but I'll get used to it after a bit. I don't know if I'm going to continue to use it here in Farming Simulator. Um, I don't find it particularly um, wait a minute. There's something goofy going on here. I think I changed a setting that I do not like. Oh, you can see me looking around. Yeah, okay. Where's the cameras? I don't like the the horizon jiggling around. Indoor camera suspension, reset vehicle, dynamic vehicle camera off, indoor camera suspension on. I think that's what I want. I want dynamic camera. Oh, does that look even weirder? That has the whole tractor moving around. Why is everything... Boy, we'll turn them both off. I can't even remember what I had. And here I am trying to move my mouse, by the way, to look around. Muscle memory. It's a thing. Yeah, something just was looking kind of weird with camera suspension. I don't know. It's just it's a different feel. There's no doubt about it. One of the weirdest things is I am so used to having my mouse doing the looking around. It feels exceptionally odd to not do that. I do kind of like the look over. Oh, and in some regards too, mirrors. See, that's how a mirror. See, that's what I'm talking about. You can see how with TrackIR you can kind of move your head around a little bit, so mirrors actually kind of make sense now in Farming Simulator. Maybe that's why they. No, I'm trying. I'm trying to give Giants an excuse here, and it ain't working. All right, so we have our straw bales finished. I didn't think we'd have too many bales to deal with. We can unload those. We'll fold up our baler. I know, Lamborghini, just biting at the bit to get that field cultivated. And we've got 2 of the 3 fields cultivated. I think I did end up cultivating the 1 field also offline, so there's that. Okay, little Voltra. Let's go grab our bale picker-upper. So the Gavil DLC is due to come out. Oh, I know what I wanted to check out here. Is due to come out this week, I think. Is it not? Is it not? I think it is. Yeah, reverse is kind of still freaking me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. There we go. Some of it looks pretty cool. I'll definitely be picking it up. No question about that. I usually get the DLC pretty much regardless of what it is. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how all you feel, but I kind of do it to support Giants. At least that's part of the reason I do it. I also because it's added content for the game. But I do also use the support your developer excuse as well, if that can be called an excuse. I don't know. It's kind of like if I play a lot of free games on iOS, and I will tend to purposely spend like $1 or $2 on the game if I play it enough, just because it supports the developer. You don't have to. I mean, I know that that's kind of what they hope for, and but different strokes for different folks. That's just kind of how I play it out usually. I had a friend that based their cost of a game on $1 per hour. So when Steam would have like its sale and stuff, they would if a $30 game, they would say if they didn't play it for 30 hours, they didn't get their money out of it. That was their approach to it. I'm not sure if that's a reasonable approach, a good approach. Seemed fair. It seemed pretty fair to me. I mean, handle it any way you want to, but that didn't seem like too bad of an idea. Is that it for our straw? I guess that's it for our straw. Not a whole lot. All right, let's go take it over to our storage shed. Not sure if I mentioned to y'all too that Omatana released her storage sheds with the new Giants storage shed scripting. I don't know if scripting's not the right word, but I'm not sure what else to feature. That's what we'll call it. The new Giant storage feature. Of course, she's the creator of this map. Her storage sheds, and I was actually thinking about just tearing down this one and putting up hers, but if they matched this design of these sheds, but they don't, they're not like a design match for them, so I just decided, we'll keep the one we have, call it good. Oh, and she did also bring these out much further, like to about here, which I really like. This is really shallow. I guess short. I wish Giants would have brought that out a little bit. But anyways, to each their own. We'll tuck our bale stacker away here again and get to cultivating, I guess. Actually, we're probably going to kick a hired help off for the cultivating, so we can work on something else that needs to get done. I think I need to do a little adjustment with, I don't know if it's the game limitation, but it stops right there. And then if I turn this way, it stops right there. And that seems to be a game limitation. I kind of wish it wouldn't do that. And as you can see also, as I turn, there's a middle stop right here. That is actually part of, whoa, that is actually part of, if you're familiar with Squirrel, he doesn't do a lot of YouTube anymore. I think he primarily streams now, does Twitch streaming. But if you've probably seen some stuff with Squirrel. He played Farming Simulator. He was well known also for playing a lot of American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator. He created a profile for TrackIR that I'm using right now. I actually quite like his profile. It's kind of um, a nice blend of smooth, and you can tweak TrackIR stuff pretty heavily, and I thought he did a nice job with it. So he offered his TrackIR profile on his Google downloads or something, and I nabbed it one day, and I've kind of stuck to that profile for the most part. First waypoint, most certainly we will. We don't need to see all those goofy lines. Oh, I think we have Office Boy doing the driving today. Lovely. Actually, you know what? I think I forgot to... kind of forgot to lime. I guess it doesn't matter if we lime before or after. I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess technically I would suspect liming before you cultivate is a better way of doing it. I would suspect, so the lime gets kind of mixed into the soil better. But since this is a simulation inside a simulation, we're just going to lime it after. I think we still have to fertilize all of our fields as well. I'm still in that precision farming mindset a little bit, so it's going to take me a little bit to get used to the standard gameplay again. Let's go ahead and get our Valtra and our limer over here. I don't think we'll be too much in the way. I don't think. And what I want to do is hop in our... where am I at here? Our front one. We can drop the rear. And we'll have to... oh! And we'll pull forward and we'll drop the front mower off here. We're actually going to use our cloths today for something other than mowing. I just have to remember where our plow is. Ooh, cloths has got some giddy up to it. Should get a front weight for it. I don't think we'll necessarily need it for this right here, but wouldn't be a bad idea to get a front weight for the cloths, I guess. Not a bad looking tractor, I don't think. That green is, I think, a little bit opinion splitting. Some people really don't like the pea green of the cloths. I think they're a pretty sharp looking tractor. I don't really mind them too much. I thought maybe there was a goat over here somewhere, but is that what they are? They're not goats. They've either got to be cows or sheep, right? I thought there was one in this little oasis over here, but I may be thinking wrong. No, I don't see it. All right. Figure we'll take a quick peek. Might as well. You know what? It could be staring me right in the face. I probably wouldn't see it anyway, so I don't know. Guess it doesn't really matter too much. So we need to plow this field up. And this is something obviously we're going to have to do on our own because hired help is going to be absolutely clueless to what we want them to do. But I think this is our next adventure, is to get this field plowed up. And actually, well, it's not a field yet, so I guess there's really not anything we can do. Are you going to... you don't really want... it would be helpful if I actually did a create field as well, I think would be helpful. There we go. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And we'll get this bad boy outlined. Ooh. Klaus had to dig a little deep in the well right there for some reason, I guess, huh? See my print screen. Why are you downshifting here, Mr. Klaus? It's like you can't find a happy gear. Yeah, see, it wants to rev up and then go to the next gear, but the next gear is too low. I've had that happen once in a while with just the right tractor, the right combination of tractor and whether it be a plow or a cultivator, or even sometimes on a planter seeder kind of combo. It's like they just fall into this little bit of a sweet spot where it gets high enough in that RPM range where it wants to shift to the next gear, and then the next gear is too low. Now, the way I've fixed this before, hold on a second. The way I fixed this before, and I see my, you all don't have to worry about this, but I see my TrackIR. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I see my TrackIR is, there's a reset button for TrackIR that you can hit that recenters the headset, and I believe I have that set wrong. So what I normally do to fix this problem with it doing this shifting business is set the cruise control, find a sweet spot with the cruise control. That's usually just a tick below the highest speed available from the plow will allow. Looks like 15 is actually a pretty good sweet spot. We can probably go up to 16. Let's see what it does here. And then 17. Looks like it's holding its own. To make another lap and see if it had anything to do with maybe there was a bit of an incline or something. Or decline. I'm probably going to be very upset with myself for making a... Well, I guess it's not as bad as I thought. I was going to say, it might pay off to try and make your fields a little more squarish. But we're probably going to use Courseplay anyways for our field work, so it's probably not going to matter too much. I want you to lift up for me. Will you do that for me? Thank you. It is kind of sinking that back end down. Maybe a front weight would help a little bit. I want to get this corner over here a little bit better. I'm not going to connect the fields. I mean, I guess we could. But I kind of just, on this one, I think I'm going to leave that field separate, because I think that field might be kind of handy for some grass work if we need to do it. You know what, though? We've got so much grasslands around here that it's probably unnecessary to dedicate a field to grass. At least not at least until we get more cows. I suppose once we build up our cow count. That was me. I do like the way the Kloss has to really dig in a little bit deep to get this baby going. I don't know, it looks like she's sitting okay though without a front weight. Let's see how it does on this run. This is where it was having some problems before. Oh yeah. Get some. We'll bump it up to 17. Yeah, that's what's worked for me in the past a little bit, at least. Because I was doing some contract work on Elm Creek when I first started playing FS22, and the versatile tractor, the big I think it's is it an articulating tractor in the base game, that one? That thing was having a horrible time with this cultivator was pulling, and it was just downshifting, upshifting, and I mean horribly bad. In fact, to the point where it wasn't even, fun to play. And it finally dawned on me, if I just forced it to stick at a certain speed, it kind of solved the issue. What can I say? Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day, right? So I spent a little bit of time today watching some YouTube videos. I guess you'd almost say more, I kind of treated them more example videos of how different YouTube channels were, what they were telling people to do to optimize their PC for maximum frame rate. And I guess, I mean, to me, the obvious goal there was view count. I mean, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's what it was, because even if you didn't know much about computers, there was very little helpful information given. In fact, in a couple of the circumstances, there was information that, quite honestly, probably kept a couple people's machines from running properly ever again, especially if they did not know how to correct the issue. So I'm just gonna warn you, if you're one of those people that likes to surf around and you're kind of like to tweak your computer and try to get maximum performance out of it, that's all fine and dandy. In fact, that's how I learned. That's what spawned my career many years ago, though, was breaking computers on the regular and then having to fix it myself. That's how I learned. And it can be fun, but it can also be really frustrating these days, and especially if it's your only PC and you want to come home, you want to play a game, and you're like, man, this game is stuttery, or this game is laggy, or I want to try to get better graphics out of this game. Let me hop on YouTube and do a search for how to increase, FPS in Battlefront or Battlefield or whatever it is. And the next thing you know, you're restarting your computer and you get the old smiley blue screen of death, or everything seems fine and dandy for a while, but then you launch, then you have to do some homework or have to do some work or whatever it is you have to do, and you realize something else is broken, and you're wondering, well, why is this broken? Oh, it's because they wanted me to install this software and tweak my latency, and then they were telling me to get into the BIOS and do memory timings, and Just be very, very careful of what you're told to do. And I think the intentions aren't bad from the intentions aren't so bad from these people. I don't think that they have bad intentions. I think that the the thing that's not really understood is that PCs are just there's hundreds of thousands, actually more like millions of hardware combinations, and then that's not even taking into account um, what Windows builds you have. The drivers you have may be different than mine. You and I may have, like I've mentioned before, we may have identical hardware, absolutely down to the T. But there's no guarantees. In fact, most likely our systems are going to perform slightly different. It's just the nature of the beast. Even on consoles, they don't have it easy here either. You can have two Xbox Ones or Series X's, and with the right measuring, you will find discrepancies in performance. They're going to be minute, but there are discrepancies. And that's just simply because of the manufacturing process of CPUs and GPUs. You know, it is what it is. It's like 2 cans of Hormel chili are not identical. As much as I would wish someday for that to be true, that I could honestly buy 2 cans of Hormel hot chili no bean and have it be identical to the second can, the utopia I would be in, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And I've come to realize that, and I've come to accept it. So don't leave in the comments that you've experienced 2 identical cans of Hormel no bean hot chili, because you'll be playing with my mind and my emotions. I need a bigger plow. I need a bigger plow or 2 plows, but I don't think 2 plows would help me very much at the moment. Could do the follow me mod. I could have another plow follow me. Maybe you know, offset it. But it'd be easier just to get a bigger plow. I mean, in real life, you know, you wouldn't be towing behind a huge, massive plow with this tractor even. You'd need a lot of horsepower, I think, to break in a new field. I think we're just gonna keep the momentum going. Our corners are gonna get a little bit funky, but we'll clean them up. Do a little more TrackIR here. I'm just debating on whether I actually like it as much as I like the mouse in this game. I think I'm so used to using the mouse in this game, and the time that I spend inside the cabin. The thing that makes it a big difference, you know, a game changer, in fact, for like Euro Truck and American Truck is simply because that's, you know, at least for me, that's 100% of where I spend my time in the game is, you know, first person like this, and being able to look around real quick for traffic and stuff. I mean, it's just so much nicer than having to use a mouse. I used to watch this one dude play Euro Truck quite a bit. I don't think his channel's around anymore. He was a pretty funny guy. Oh shoot, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Go figure. I wouldn't remember, right? Tempest. Yeah, Tempest. Tempest Live. Tempest Line? Anyways, he was a unique character. He was quite a unique character. Very, very interesting personality. Yeah. And he Oh, come on, Klaus, dig in, baby. Oh, it's struggling a little bit. It's struggling. But yeah, he played. He was kind of the first person I watched play Euro Truck. He was actually the reason why I really got into Euro Truck, and he played with a. I asked him one time in the comments. I'm like, what do you play with? Are you playing with a wheel and pedals? And he's like, no, I'm just playing with a Xbox controller. And he did pretty darn good with that Xbox controller. No eye tracking software or head tracking software. He just did what he needed to do with an Xbox controller. I would almost be tempted if I didn't have a wheel and pedals. I might be tempted to play that game with an Xbox controller, actually. I'm not sure how good steering would be on a keyboard. Seems like it would be kind of janky a little bit. I know there's probably a lot of people out there that do that, play that game on a keyboard mouse, but that's a game that a wheel and pedals pays for itself in a big hurry. Obviously that and any kind of you know, driving game. Is our I can't really tell what our helper was doing over there, but I think they must be done with that field, cultivating that field, I hope. Either that or they're magically stuck somehow. Yeah, it's hard to get used to TrackIR after being away for so long, and I think just my experience here, I plan on going back to back to my mouse, even though it does have its benefits, no doubt. Um, I think I'm just so used to. I think I'm so used to the mouse now at this point that I'm okay with it. And I really, I mean, it's cool for a while, but I don't spend. Whoa, I don't really spend. There you go, Brad. I don't really spend any time, having to look really close at you know, at the screens down here and the buttons and stuff because you don't use them. So what's really the point of being able to do all that on a regular basis? There's really not. It wouldn't surprise me if someday Giants eventually gets around to incorporating more interactive controls into the game. I would think that that has to be on their board of to-do lists, on their to-do list board of upcoming features. I I still to this day have absolutely no idea. Well, I have one idea of why it's not, but how is it even possible that GPS is not built into this game? That absolutely boggles my mind. And there's only two things that come to mind as to why it's not. The first one is it has to be cross-platform. Whatever they do with GPS, Giants will only do it if it's cross-platform. So they're not going to give GPS to PC players and not have it be available to pretty much, to all console players. And maybe not all console players, because I think there are some things that aren't available to some of the consoles, like the handheld ones, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that just mods? That might just be mods. Either way, it would have to be cross-platform. They're not going to introduce any kind of stuff like that and be like, oh, yeah, sorry, PC only. So that's the first thing. Maybe they haven't figured out how to get GPS working without a script. Second reason that I can think of is a much more cynical reason. Is why bother when it's already in the game via a mod? You know, pretty much guaranteed that every version of Farming Simulator that comes out, the GPS mod or the guidance steering mod, or what's the other one that GPS is in? The vehicle add-on mod, I think it's called. The vehicle add-on mod has a form of GPS. And to some extent, you know, if you're Giants, you've got to be kind of thinking, well, it's already done for us, so why should we bother? But I don't think that that's necessarily, that's kind of a cynical way of looking at it. I doubt that that's their take on it, just because it's for PC only and Mac, and, you know. But I'll tell you, from a, how do you console players not? How do you play without GPS? Do you just, you're just used to not having it? Maybe that's it, you know, you're just used to not having it, and so, you know, you just don't? I'm going to smooth this out so we can start doing racetrack style. I would go nuts without it. I think to some extent, there's some things like this that I don't mind, obviously, not having GPS, but for the most part, I would imagine console players are much better. Probably experienced console players are much better at planting and harvesting in more straight lines than PC players and Mac players who are basically, you know, spoiled by GPS. There's a dude I watch once in a while. I enjoy his content. It's kind of a little bit goes a long ways for me to some extent. I'm not going to be judgmental about other people's YouTube styles. It's just some click and some don't for you, right? And, but anyways, his take on it, on the GPS thing, is similar to mine, where it's like, how can Giants honestly not have GPS available? And in his opinion, how is it even remotely possible that you can have precision farming without GPS? Like, you can't. Their precision farming is basically impossible without GPS guide, without GPS or auto steer or whatever you want to call it. And I kind of get that. I get that. It's precision, you know, and you really, for top precision, I suppose you need GPS. I think there's a lot of precision farming things that don't require GPS necessarily. Like even just watching Clarkson Farms. I don't think there's a single GPS. I don't think there's a single tractor on his farm that uses GPS. They use tram lines, right? That's their GPS, I guess, is tram lines. And once you set the tram lines down, I guess that's at least gives you some form of accuracy. I don't know. I do find it weird though that GPS isn't in the game yet. That is kind of a weirdness to me. And I guess it's not a big deal if you're on PC or Mac because you can get GPS, you know. I mean, it's there. It's available. But if I was a console player, I would be really hitting the forums and telling giants, hey, give us stinking GPS. What's the deal? If you see my field work, you'll know why I need GPS. Give a brother a break, man. Throw me a bone here, people. Alright, well I think I'm going to call this episode good because pretty much what you see is what you're going to get here for the rest of the episode. I'm going to continue plowing up this field and getting this taken care of. Pretty good sized field. We should be on our way. I don't know. We'll have to look at the rest of the property that we own already and see if there's any more fields we need to cut in. I was also thinking, trying to come up with some ideas on how we could add some regular income onto the farm. Something that will continue to make us money every month. Because right now we have really not done a single thing yet that has been cash positive. And it would be nice to have something to fall back on during the lean months. Even if it just helps pay those, you know, property taxes and what do they call those things that you have to pay for your barns and stuff, maintenance fees, stuff like that. Even if it just covers that, that would be helpful. And I don't want to do the government subsidy stuff. I want to get something, you know, that kind of makes a little bit more sense as far as, I don't know, maybe windmills. I don't know what those things generate anymore as far as cash goes on this game. Solar panels and windmills, I don't know if they're even worth it anymore. I guess they probably are to some extent, but they're not cheap either. So keep that in mind if you have any ideas. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. And I think otherwise, gonna call this episode good, and I appreciate you all checking it out once again, sticking with me. I love having you all along. Love seeing new subscribers to the channel. That's pretty awesome. And we're going to continue to try to make Hinterland our home, a successful home for us. But thanks everyone for joining me. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah. Looking good in there, brother. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Thanks for watching again. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you'd like to as well. And I'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.